Hello, this is Ron Clymer in Daytona Beach, Florida. I'm a local real estate agent, and I go on to these real estate Facebook groups and platforms such as that, where I see younger realtors asking for advice and lamenting some of the problems of real estate. And one of the biggest problems new people seem to have is, where can I find prospects, leads, people to talk to? And the answer is, they're everywhere. They're all over the place. Everywhere you look, there's people. And by the way, this is true not only for realtors, this is true for anybody in sales. But anybody in sales needs to have some prospects to talk to. Now, let me tell you my definition of a prospect. And by the way, most people don't use that word anymore. It's kind of an obsolete word, but a prospect is someone that needs or wants your product. They can afford to buy it, and they'll probably buy it from you or your competitor in a reasonable period of time, pretty soon. And so if that's the definition of a prospect, where do we see these people? Well, one place you can see them, if you get up in the morning and you go to the local multiple listing service, you can run the expireds. And these are the people whose listing expired in the MLS yesterday. They've been listed with a realtor for 3 months, 6 months, whatever period of time they listed with, and now their listing's expired. And what do you think? They've decided they're not going to take that job in Cincinnati? They're taking the job in Cincinnati. Might already be there by now. And they're excellent prospects. They need or want your product. They can afford it, evidenced by the fact that they listed with the other realtor, and they're probably going to list with you or your competitor pretty soon. And in that case, pretty soon being the next few days. So why don't you just go knock on their door or call them on the telephone? The least you can do, send them a postcard, and that's the bare minimum. But if you do that, if you go out and see them, talk to them, they're either going to list with you or list with your competitor. Well, that's better than you not being in the race. Your competitor gets the listing, period, end of the story. And so expired listings, I don't care what anybody tells you, they are good prospects, real good prospects. They need or want your services. They're going to buy it from you or your competitor. They can afford it. Now, another person that needs or wants your services, they may not know it, but you know it, and that's Mr. For Sale by Owner. And for sale by owners, a lot of people, they see a for sale by owner and they just don't slam on the brakes and go knock on the door and say, hey, see you got your house for sale? I'm a local realtor here in Ormond Beach, and if I can help you with it, I'd like to. And even if I can't, could we work out some kind of one-time deal if I had a customer for it? 99 times out of 100, they'll say yes to that. Say, great, could I take a few minutes and take a look at the house either now or make an appointment to come back this afternoon? Probably better for both of us. And so do that, and that's a great idea. Now, my whole plan with for sale by owners is this, and number one, you got to understand this. For sale by owners are not going to sell their own house. It's not going to happen. Probably 2 out of 10 do, but the rest of them don't. So that means 80% of them are prospects. They need or want your services, they can't afford it, and they're going to buy it from you or your competitor. And so if that's true, say, you go in there and meet them, what do you want to do? You want to get them to like you. That's what you want to do. That's the main thing, you want to get them to like you, because they might not be ready to talk about listing right this minute. For sale by owners are funny people. You got to figure them out with many, many, many visits to many, 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 many for sale by owners. But sooner or later, they're gonna do something, and they're gonna list with you or your competitor, most likely. Now, another person that is a good prospect is open house visitors. You know, you listed a house and you go out, sit in that open house all Sunday afternoon from 1 to 3 or 1 to 6 or whatever. You sit in the open house. People come walking into the open house. Those people are probably prospects. You probably need to develop a lot more skill in learning to chit-chat with people and learn things about them. Where y'all moving to, how long, you got that house for sale, you sold your old house already, what's going on, and find out what's going on. It's not unusual for somebody to come into an open house that hasn't even done a thing about selling their old house, wouldn't think about being a for sale by owner, and they might be interested in your house that you're looking at or not, and it doesn't take much finesse to let them know that, well, your first job is not finding your next house, your first job is getting your old house sold. Well, let's sit down and talk about that and make an appointment to go talk to them about listing their house. But if you're not following up with open house visitors, you need to quit having open houses, because that's where the action is after the open house is over and you get back in touch with them, they like you, they've met you, blah, blah, blah. It all works better. Now, here's another prospect that you may not be aware of, that it might not make sense to you, but you can ride around your town, wherever you live. I live in Daytona Beach, Florida, but wherever you live, you ride around town, you'll see houses that are empty. You'll see houses that are empty for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Would you agree with me? Nobody needs an empty house. It costs money to own a house. You got to pay the taxes every year, $3,000, $4,000. You got to pay insurance on it. You better have insurance on it. If you got a mortgage payment, heaven forbid. But lots of time people have these empty houses that are just sitting there. Nobody using them, nobody selling them. And for crying out loud, get in touch with that person. They're naming numbers right there in the public record, Maybe they live up in Minnesota, Atlanta, or wherever. Give them a call and say, hey, what's going on with this house down here in Daytona Beach? Say, oh, we've been thinking about selling. Oh, have you now? And you can list those houses. They're so easy because you got no competition doing that. There's nobody competing with you on that. It's just you. And don't take my word for it. Just pay attention when you drive down the road. You see an empty house or an empty commercial building been sitting there empty for as long as you can remember, and give them a call. What's going on with that building? And now, another person that's a prospect, remember I told you a prospect is someone that needs or wants your services, can't afford it, and will likely list with you in a reasonable period of time, or your competitor. How about people that are being foreclosed on? They're in the public records. They come out every Monday here in Daytona Beach, Florida. We get about 16, 18 a week, and these are people that can't afford to make their mortgage payments. Now, this is not a happy occasion. If you don't like miserable people, you might not want to work foreclosures, but because they're always, everything is somebody else's fault and blah, blah, blah. But the bottom line is, if you will go out and see these people, they're going to list with you, or it's going to be foreclosed on by the clerk of the court. And there might be some opportunities there that you have to get a little more knowledge to pursue. But there's a lot of people that when they are foreclosed on by the clerk of the court, they end up being bought by somebody, the bank or somebody else. And you can pursue those people to see if maybe they want to list it. Guy in Miami buys a house in Daytona, pretty good bet. He's just buying it as an investment. And so follow up on those. It's just ample opportunities. Now, another thing is probate. People die. I'm sorry, but they do. So, and down here in Florida, I don't know if this is prolific where you are, but down here in Florida, we have lots of people. That's the reason they come here. They're 70 years old, like I am, and they come to Daytona, and they're just going to stay here until it's over. And sure enough, one day it's over, there's the kids up in Chattanooga. They don't want a house in Daytona Beach, Florida, especially if it's got payments on it. And so you call them up and say, hey, let's get together and see if we can do something with this. And they're the public record. They're right there in the, if they file for probate, that's to settle up the will in Florida. They're right there, name, phone number, person to call, personal representative, and just call them. Your competition is so slim, there's nothing to it. Now, so what I want you to do, think about it. I think I've given you 6 or 7 things here, and you can think of more. But, get on the phone, get on the door knock, get in the mail if you want to. I don't particularly crazy about mail because I know what happens to it at my house, whether it's insurance or hearing aids or what'd you say, or any of that stuff. And it just jumps right into the trash can at my house. But it's hard to ignore a phone call. Even if you leave them a message or send them a text, you'll probably hear back from them. And now, I got one more thing I want to tell you about that is a lot of people, they say, oh, Ron, I don't like to be rejected when I call people on the phone. Well, let me tell you what you could do. You see a for sale by owner. So there's a sign. You ride past there a couple times a week, and it wasn't there last week, but all of a sudden you see a for sale by owner sign in the yard down the street. Well, you know, you could slam on the brakes, go knock on their door right then, and give them that big smile. Say, hey, I'm Ron Clymer. I'm a local realtor here in town. I see your house expired, and I see your house is for sale by owner, and anything I can do to help you with that? And just take it from there, and if not, could I come back with you later and take a look at the house? And the answer is almost always yes, especially if it's in your neighborhood or down the street or not too far away. And they say, sure, come on back. And so you come on back, you get to know them, you can be nice to them, you can get them to like you. And so as they do that, they're going to list with somebody. 80% of them are going to list with somebody. And if you could get about 40% of 80%, hey, you're doing fine. And so, but now you don't, if you don't want to handle that rejection or knocking on the door, tell you what to do. Just make a note, 123 Residential Street, and drive back by there about 6 weeks later. And guess what? There's your competitor's sign in the front yard. Yep, they were a prospect. Ron said they were going to list with somebody, and sure enough, they did. You can do the same thing with expireds. Run today's expireds, drive out to their house. There's only 6 of them today. So drive out to the house, and you don't want to go knock on the door and get rejected. Oh no, that'd be awful. So what you do is just make a note, come back 3 weeks later, there's your competitor's sign. Wow, they must have been a prospect. Probably should have called them. Yep, probably should. Same thing with foreclosures. You see a house on the foreclosure list, you don't want to go talk to them because you don't want to be rejected by a guy who can't even afford to make his mortgage payments. And so you don't go offer your help to him. What happens? Next thing you know, there's your competitor's sign in the yard. Not only that, but you got a prospect to show the place to. And so that happens. Don't do that. Get out there and knock on the door. See if you can get those listings. Now, if you don't know what to say, that's a whole nother thing, but I got other videos right here on YouTube, and so do other people. There's plenty of people tell you what to say, and it doesn't take long that you're an expert. You get real good at your rapport building skills. You develop what we call charisma. And once you have charisma, you go out and talk to them, it's just so much easier. So if you're having struggles getting started, now by the way, there's other things you can do. Gosh, you look on Facebook and, let me show you how to make videos, let me show you how to do this, let me show you how to do that. Well, those are good things to do, but the main thing you need is practice talking to prospects. You need practice talking to them. If somebody sends you the hottest prospect in the world, and you're not very good at talking to them, you're not going to get it listed. But if you've been out there talking to Mr. Expired, Mr. For Sale by Owner, Mr. Probate, Mr. Empty House Owner, you've been talking to these people for 6 months or a year, you're going to get pretty good at talking to people. And once you're good at talking to people, your fortune is made in real estate. So I'm Ron Clymer. That's my phone number there. That 828 number is my pocket phone, the one that's in my pocket. And if I can help you in any way, got any referrals coming to Daytona or anything in Daytona you need to take care of, let me know. But also, if you would, hit that subscribe button while you're standing there. I'm trying to get more subscribers. I've discovered that if you got more subscribers, you got a better deal with YouTube and life gets better. So help me out with that. And if there's something you'd like to know, put it down in the comments. Put down in the comments that, Ron, I think this was good stuff, or Ron, I think this was a waste of my time. And give me a little comment. Something you want to know. Say, Ron, this was a waste of my time. Do you know anything about whatever? And let me know what I can do, and I'll post a video just for you. Thank you so much.